It is absolutely, positively all about you tonight. Your questions, Spirit's answers, and we're connecting. But I'm brought here tonight for a specific reason. We are celebrating 550 live shows with all of you. And I remember the very first show 550 shows ago, and that was over 11 years ago. It was May 2009. My, has the world changed. And in May 2009, I was placed in front of a microphone and told, go ahead, have a show. I didn't really know what to expect. I just thought, well, sounds like something I can do. And I literally just showed up. And I'll never forget the producer of the show, the sales manager. They were there and they stood there while the show was on because they were there with their pads and they were going to critique what I did. But they had no idea what we were going to do, did they? So they had nothing to say when that was done, and the rest was history. Because essentially, I'm not the show. You're the show. Each one of you, each call, determines the direction that this show goes. You are the navigating force. Your questions, your life questions, your love questions, your fears, your worries, your concerns, your navigating jobs and changes, all of this is a part of this show. And the fact that you are creating every day new opportunities for yourself, and we get to share it here live on national radio for over 11 years, is just so awesome. Awesome to know that we can all gather together, hold sacred space for each other, no matter what we've gone through. For some of you, it's been a loss of a loved one, maybe an unexpected job loss. For some of you, it's been a baby that was born that, well, the doctor said wasn't possible, but we know the divine source has got a surprise for you. We've seen it all happen here, live, on air. We've had you laughing. We've had you crying. We've written you songs. We've done it all. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes next from all of this. Because each one of us is evolving. And the one thing that I know, the one thing that I recognize in these times of change is everything's changing. And how we navigate those changes and evolve ourselves emotionally, spiritually, and physically in our world, however we orchestrate our path and design it, this is what we have before us. I never in a million years thought that I would have an opportunity to speak to people on national radio. It just wasn't on my list of things to do. Put me on a Broadway stage, throw me in a nightclub, let me tell some stand-up comedy, let's party, let's have a good time. I thought those were some of the possibilities that I would revisit at this juncture in my life as I kind of took myself off the corporate path. But you know what? The universe had something else in mind for me. It decided that I was going to be a spiritual shake and bake. Yes, indeed. They were going to take a little bit of everything I did, put me in a cup, shake me up, download some messages within me, give me some inspiration, some wisdom, pack me with a bunch of spirit guides, and hit the road. I never imagined that would happen. And so many of you are at a juncture in your life where there's time for change. And you don't know what you're going to shake and bake out to because you don't know where to go. Take a look at where you've been first and notice what you've accomplished. And please, be gentle with yourself. Remember to applaud yourself for what you have accomplished. And notice where you've been, because it's the accomplishments on the journey that make all the difference. You see, each one of you holds a very valuable spark inside. And that spark, that divine essence, holds the key to your destiny. So if you're thinking that life is not going the way you want it to, if you believe you're not on your path just yet, then I invite you to try the shake and bake method. Yes, indeed, you take a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and shake it up and put yourself in the divine light for just a bit. Turn yourself over when you think you're about done and put yourself on the path, because this is a time of great change on this world. And you have to change with the world. You can't stay locked in what you're doing because you will get frustrated and stuck. and feel as if you have no say in your life, you have the power to make the shift and the change. You have the power to decide what comes next for you. Even if it appears as if there's obstacles in the way, even if it looks as if things are blocked or locked down, so to speak, even if it seems like your choices are removed because maybe your industry took a hit and you can't expand in your work and now you actually have to find a whole new job. This is a time of rebirthing. This is a time of evolution. This is a time where you have to step up and say, heck yeah, I am here to do great, amazing things. And my doing these amazing things is going to transform everything around me. No matter what it is, give it a try. See if it feels right for you. And move yourself in the direction of what you desire. When I look back at all the different calls that we've had, all the different guides, the angels, the loved ones that have come through with messages that, yes, indeed, they are okay. And yes, indeed, there is life after this life. And yes, they hear you. And yes, they're aware of things that you're doing here on earth, and they are supporting you. When I get those messages, I'm always in this beautiful state of grace and awe, knowing that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there's something more than what we're doing. So if what you're doing on a day-to-day basis does not fulfill you, it does not have your heart open, then please open up to a new possibility. Let the divine energy flow through you and celebrate how far you've come. You may not be where you want to be yet, but the operative word in that sentence, my friends, is yet. Because there's always a plan. And, when we as humans make a plan, God thinks he's at stand-up comedy with Sarah Spiritual, because it's a funny thing when we make a plan and we think, oh, this is how it's going to work, and this is the person that I'm going to be with, and then the whole thing just poof, blows up in your face. Because sometimes as humans, we want what we want and we push to get what we want, and we don't follow the prompting and the nudge from spirit to pay attention to something or slow up, notice something else is happening before you dive right in. We are driven to push, and that's been our conditioning here in the world. And we're used to just kind of making something happen for ourselves. But now I expect that everybody is noticing that maybe you don't have as much push, as much pull, as much connections as you thought you did. So that's going to put you in a whole different energy. It's going to put you in the energy to welcome the art of allowing. To welcome the allowing of the universes, opening up doorways and possibilities, and asking that the right people and things step in front of you. And so that everything can align perfectly. No matter where you are, no matter how uncomfortable you may be, this too shall pass. And that the choices that you make today begin to move you in the direction of tomorrow. The best part about free will is you do have the opportunity to change your mind and redirect your route. Kind of like the GPS, recalculating route. You can recalculate your route. But if you're driving in circles in an area of town that you don't want to be in an area of your life that you don't want to be in, if you're showing up at a job that you don't want to be in, then how do you make that change? How do you choose something different for yourself? Give yourself permission to embrace that and open up to new possibilities. If I could just show up at a meeting in 2009 and have someone say, you need to have a radio show, and I show up and just do a radio show, which is pretty much how it happened. That's divine guidance. That's divine orchestration. And in the art of allowing, in the energy of being open to whatever spirit puts before me, I'm pretty obedient when it comes to following spirit's promptings. Whatever spirit puts before me, I embrace as a possibility. And I know I have the ultimate say if I want to do something. But I didn't think any harm could come from popping on the radio. Back then it was just an hour. Popped on the radio and started to talk to people, and I figured, what's the difference? I'm going to talk to someone on the phone just like they were sitting in front of me. And I'm just going to tell them the messages the same way I hear them when I sit with a person. And just through the sound of your voice and the portal energy opening, I get this download of everything that's going on with you. And then Spirit says, talk about that. Bring that up. Let's bring that to the forefront. They got a question about whatever's going on, but they need to know about this. And so I always go that route and always open up the energy so that you can not just have a question answered, but leave here feeling inspired, having the guidance to make the highest level choices for your own life as you move yourself forward, and have all the energy you need to feel loved, cared for, and of course connected to the divine source.